Hi and welcome along. I am the gardener Ben, and the rose in front of me will need little introduction. Many of you will have seen me unbox this new introduction from David Austin Roses in a live and online world exclusive just a couple of days ago. Launched at the Hampton Court Palace Flower Show, this absolute stunner is Penelope Lively. I've been wondering how on earth I'm going to actually give you my first impressions of this stunning rose over the last couple of weeks. It's actually still in its pot, and many of you joined me for my live first impressions just around 2 weeks ago because there was so much chitter chatter all over the internet about this particular rose and drawing comparisons with it with other roses in the David Austin collection. So I thought today I would bring you my first impressions, and it's on a chair in front of me. So first of all, if you're viewing this particular video on YouTube, I apologise. The camera is up the wrong way for you, but I can't film absolutely everything in perfect format for everybody. And with this particular one, I needed to be up close and personal, and I needed this one in front of me. So I apologise if you're watching on YouTube. Penelope Lively is the most interesting rose that David Austin have launched in a long time. A really beautiful rose with some really lovely characteristics, and it caused quite a stir, not only here on Instagram but over on YouTube as well. Lots and lots of chatter drawing comparisons with this particular rose with other roses in the David Austin collection, saying that it looked very much similar to the Princess Alexandra of Kent and very much like Harlow Carr, and I'm here to tell you that this rose looks nothing like either of them, and it needs to be seen to really believed and to see its unbelievable beauty. This rose is a potted specimen delivered to me by David Austin just 2 weeks ago, and I have never seen a potted rose bear so many blooms all at once, which is why there's been a slight delay in me actually filming this video. Those of you that tuned in live when I unboxed this, it had 2 or 3 blooms on it then, and it looked absolutely amazing. But you can see now in this potted rose just in front of me, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's actually about 9 or 10 really decent sized blooms here, and around, I'm going to estimate something between 50 and 60 buds on this particular plant already. So a potted specimen of this size, of this age, to be able to produce this many flowers, the signs are telling me that Penelope Lively is going to be really good. The blooms you saw on the plant delivered to me just a couple of weeks ago, I actually cut on a live event during two Mondays ago. I took those into the house and they were fully open, very much like the blooms that you see in front of me now. They lasted an outstanding 5 days in a vase, which is absolutely astonishing for a David Austin rose. So all pointers again pointing to Penelope Lively performing really well in a vase in the house as a cut flower. So let's talk through its characteristics first. David Austin roses are saying this particular rose can thrive in all different types of situation in the garden, anywhere from full sun to partial shade, and this particular rose has entered into their best for health range, meaning they're confident that this particular rose is going to rebuff all of the nasties that you don't want in your garden. So it's going to be really resistant against black spot, rust, mold and mildew. Now obviously at the moment I'm not going to be commenting on those particular issues. I would like to trial it for myself, and you will get my first, not my first impressions, but you'll get my full personal review of this rose and how it performs over the next 12 months during National Rose Month 2024. But at the moment you can see it has really lovely dark emerald green foliage with a really nice burgundy tinge to the outer edges, and again the stems very much like with new additions like Gabriel oak, bringing together the whole package of a rose together. Foliage combination with buds, flower colour and even the stem colour all coming together in a complete package, making Penelope Lively a really attractive plant. I'm going to cut a stem for you so you can see. I'm going to go for this one just here, and I'm going to talk you through the characteristics of the actual flower itself. Let's put these down. Right, so the buds are a really lovely dark cerise red. Really very beautiful. The buds are quite domed in their shape before they open, and one of the nicest characteristics of this particular rose is the shape of the petals. They're very highly fluted and serrated along the top edges, giving it this lovely crinkled, ruffled tissue paper look, Really, really romantic, very, very soft, and dare I say it, very feminine in its characteristics. Really, really beautiful. And also the colour is absolutely astonishing, ranging everywhere from dark raspberry all the way through into the mid pinks. So a really, really very different colour. You have this beautiful bleaching up the sides of the flowers, the actual veins of the flowers tinged with the colour itself running through there, with a slight amount of blush white to the blooms and a lovely yellow tinge at the bottom. The blooms open virtually flat, as you can see from this one here, nice and loose on the formation. Again, you can see that lovely deep crunkled, very relaxed feel to the bloom, containing a really, really nice selection of yellow stamens right in the very, very heart of it. The blooms themselves are really quite large, and this is where the comparisons with all the other roses finish. This one is around twice the size of Harlow Carr. Harlow Carr blooms are between 1 and 1.5 inches across and produced in large sprays of around a dozen blooms per head. Now this one is producing blooms, you can see here, this one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blooms to that particular spray, so that's nice and sizable. So nothing like Harlow Carr whatsoever. The blooms on Penelope Lively measuring somewhere between 3 and 3.5 inches across, meaning that again it's absolutely nothing like the Princess Alexandra of Kent, which produces some of the largest blooms in the David Austin range, measuring 5 to 5.5 inches. They really are quite large, almost the size of your hand or your fist balled up together. So Penelope Lively producing many, many more flowers than, for instance, Princess Alexandra of Kent over a much longer period of time. I say this particular rose been with me for 2 weeks now and has been in flower constantly since then. I've got a feeling this flush of flowers is going to last at least 4 to 5 weeks. Going to be keeping a really, really close eye on it over the next couple of weeks. But the real thing with Penelope Lively is I haven't experienced a scent on a rose like this for a very, very long time. Now, all of you following along closely will know that I launched my 10-star fragrance rating this year to make it easier for you to grade the fragrances. Now, I must draw your attention to the fact we all take fragrances very, very differently. I have a particularly good nose, I'm particularly well trained in this, and I know the notes, different levels of fragrance. But very, very few roses within the David Austin collection have ranked this highly for fragrance for a very, very long time. I have already awarded Penelope Lively an 8-star fragrance review, which is absolutely outstanding. The fragrance is an absolute knockout. It's rich, it's fruity, it's strong, it's incredibly floral and citrusy in its tones. It has edges of boiled sweets and chewits, things like tutti fruitis and sherbet lemons. There's lots of raspberry and blackcurrant in the very, very back end of it as well. It's really lovely, it's really floral. It carries beautifully in the wind. Now, so I've got 8 or 9 blooms here in front of me. It is a particularly blowy day, and a lot of you all have mentioned the sound quality on this particular video. But even with all the wind that's about today, this plant is filling the air around it with its wonderful fragrance, which is the absolute epitome of everything that summer should be. It's absolutely astonishing. I'm going to be planting Penelope Lively in the autumn. I'm going to keep it in its pot for now. I'm going to move it about the garden in places that I can enjoy. I'm going to take lots and lots of photographs, make lots and lots of small videos surrounding this particular rose. And then in the autumn, I'm actually going to remove an old hydrangea from the garden here, and I'm going to place this very, very close to a path where I can enjoy its fragrance. It's going to say reach around 3.5 to 4 feet tall and around 3.5 to 4 feet wide. So it's going to be a substantial shrub, and I'm looking forward to it really finding its stride in the next couple of years and really producing a huge amount of flowers, because this rose is giving us lots of signs that this is a particularly good introduction from David Austin Roses, and I'm very, very excited about this one. Look out over the next few days for my first impressions of the other release from David Austin Roses this year, released at the Chelsea Flower Show, Donahue. I should be giving that my first impressions over the next few days, but for now, this is the absolutely astonishing Penelope Lively. All the symbols here are pointing to a really, really good addition from David Austin Roses, and I'm looking forward to having this one in the garden for many, many more years to come.